Estoy muy cabreado. Los grandes bancos están jodiendo a los americanos. Y yo cada vez estoy más furioso.
Es increíble.
Y luego ese tío entra en mi despacho y dice...
Se nos viene un marrón de la leche.
How are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
Oh, you look so
All
cute.
right, this is
Oh,
Rosa
thanks.
With my favorite color.
Oh, thank you.
Take it away, Rosa.
Well, congratulations on the movie.
Thanks.
It's really nice to see a movie like this once in a while. Very refreshing.
Thank you.
And that makes you think. So basically, what we see here is like after the largest economic catastrophe in 2008 with the home loans, there's only one person going to jail.
Right.
And he's not even a mortgage executive nor a CEO. Whereas I think in the 80s, after the home loan scandal, there were like 800-something people being prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the numbers don't...
Well, they don't match. No.
Yeah, so what happened there?
What, you're asking me? I'm just an actor. I don't know anything. I don't know. Boy, you have come to the wrong place. If you want any sort of analysis, I can't help you out. I don't know. You know, the whole thing is horrifying, and I didn't know much about it. But then when I read the book, and obviously I read the script and got a sense of what Adam was going for, it's a bit of a horror movie. It goes from like comedy, and there's like a heist. Like, are they gonna make it? Are they gonna make the big score? Are they gonna earn their money? And you're sort of rooting for these guys to win. But then you find yourself thinking, well, if they win, everybody else loses.
Yeah.
And it's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so upsetting to think that no one paid for this except for the victims, you know. And I guess I admire Adam and Michael Lewis for trying to sort of bring an awareness to that and to help inform the audience, you know, so that maybe they can be informed going forward.
Mm-hmm. Do you consider the human being as greedy by nature? You think it's something that we have inside us? Or?
I think we have a duality in us, and I think there's a struggle between that.
And that won over, like, being compassionate and generous towards other people, or
do I think
like
one?
being, yeah,
do
like
I think
being
one?
like if,
I don't think you can paint it with one brush. I think it's complicated. You know, I think that's the struggle, and that defines who you are. You know, and you don't always lean one way or the other. Sometimes you have a tendency to lean one way more than the other.
That's interesting. Yes, I think so, and I think people fight against it, but I think it's very intriguing. The idea of wealth and power is a very intriguing idea for most people.
some way capitalism encourages that for people to be greedy and acquire a lot of material stuff, and instead of like maybe developing empathy for people that have less money, or I don't know. I'm just.
I think there's a great question. I think it's a really complicated issue. You know, I guess I don't think of it in a black and white terms like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think so. Because people, you know, it's based on that sort of success. It's based on getting a leg up. It's based on winning. But, you know, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing necessarily. I don't think it always leads to the sort of devastation that 2008 led to. But, yeah, I mean, I think that model definitely holds true.
So what would you do, or what do you think would change the world a bit if we don't focus so much on money and greed, and instead we try to be like have more empathy for other people, more compassion?
Well, I think that is one of the cruxes of these characters, is that there's this moral dilemma of they're doing their jobs. and they are betting against essentially the economy. Their win is everybody else's loss. And you can look at them as villains, although I think oddly people are looking at them as heroes to a certain extent. And there's a gray area, because in a way they are heroes because they're pursuing the truth of the circumstance. But they're not, because they're not being altruistic, because they stand to gain a lot from everyone else's downfall. But I think that's the question, that moral ambiguity of the whole thing. Like where does the morality end and the greed begin? I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that. How can that change? Again, you're...
We need another 3 hours for that, and we don't have more time.
And you're not far better men and women than me have,
no. I'm sure
weighed in on that.
I'm sure we could figure something out.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Thanks.
Thank you.
¿Captáis a strippers con hipotecas basura?
Tienen mucho efectivo.
No vas a poder refinanciarlo.
¿Ninguna hipoteca?
¿Cómo ninguna hipoteca?
Tengo 5 casas y un edificio.